Yeah, coming to you live on www.kgosiefm.co.za. Do you like a paraskipane? It's cold. Eugene? Yeah. Guys, welcome to Kgosi FM. It's a Friday. I know today is a Friday Madness show, but we have this urgent thing we have to go through. Eh? We have to talk about this thing of GNU. Maybe it's GNU nowadays of fun. Government of National Unity right here on Kgosi FM. Politics are every day is enormous here on Kgosi FM. Whenever you have a topic, you're going to come and say, listen, there's a topic that we're going to push. Mr. Matjoi, how's it?
Oh, good evening. How are you?
Yeah, two people are suffering, my brother. Yeah, what's say, my brother? What's up?
My
brother, right. I'm here with the studio. Can I Eugene? Eugene, can I get a Spanish?
Eugene Chitake
to come and to talk to us today about this thing. Yeah, GNU, Government of National Unity. What's going to just laugh whenever I hear this thing?
It's got an acronym already.
My brother, already still baby. Listen, you must appeal to us. Yeah, but it's fine. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Kgosi FM. My name is Segongane. It's not a madness show as you know on Friday. We'll have a madness show. Next week Wednesday we have lesbian couples here. So please listen and tune in. We'll put a poster. You'll know what to do. So you can be able to know and hear this whole thing. So today we are talking about GNU, which is Government of National Unity. Yeah, and we're gonna decipher and debunk that. Can I Mr. Matjoi on the line and can I lay Eugene in studio today to discuss this thing. So the number is 064-548-7976. If you wanna be part of this, and then this will be on the podcast today on Spotify, Anchor FM, and on YouTube with the name the kgosietsile Segongane live show. Eugene is an aspiring podcaster, by the way. He's going to be a podcaster soon, so he's coming to see how we do this.
It's my first time. I'm glad to be here.
He's coming to see how we do this, and then soon, Mr. Matjoi, by the way, he's going to be a podcaster soon, and then he wants to learn this how to do this thing. So, Mr. Matjoi, welcome again, my bro. Mr. Matjoi, an aspiring, not aspiring, MPL in waiting. He actually has North West legislature, and then he's a political activist and a political analyst on his own right. Okay. So we are gonna talk about this thing, but again, national unity thing, and I'm gonna give you a bit of context before I can give to you guys that you can tell me now what you think about this thing. Unity. All right, let me put this for silent. All right, why I'm laughing? People might just ask, why are you laughing? And I'm laughing because and I want to say this to black people.
Yeah.
I don't care what you're going to say. I'm going to say to the black people.
Yeah.
And Mr. Matjoi, correct if I'm wrong, right? And then we take it from there. We are cowards. One. Okay?
Yeah.
We are cowards. And I'm going to play some sound clips. You're going to hear as well what does the real black people say and do about this thing. We are cowards. We don't know what to do with power. We always want the white approval.
Yeah.
We are always trying to get an approval from somebody. We are the ones who are always pushing this peace and reconciliation and unity and love and whatever to a people that never said they are sorry in the first place, Eugene, for whatever that they've done.
100%.
We are the ones who are every day baby we are the ones who always pushing you to understand. Whereas born, they don't give a damn. They don't. So Tabanch, we give him power 94. 63% of the vote we got. We did not need to put it like in government.
Yeah,
we didn't need to put Big Butter as the Minister of Minerals and what. We didn't need to mix anybody.
True.
That GNU failed, by the way. It didn't go far because National Party had its own apartheid ideas. Still, they didn't stop. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then we ourselves still want to push this thing because Mandela was already bought and sold. From 85, this person was already bought and sold.
True.
1990 and chef and everything. It's just like he overalls. He already been bought and sold. I'm sorry, but this is the truth.
Yeah, no, it shows.
Hence, at the end of the day, now we are left with this nonsense. Understand?
We want to repeat the same thing.
Hey, and more we got one person who's in the center of this whole thing, Ramaphosa. He knows what MK The MK doesn't want him.
Yeah.
EFF doesn't.
True.
Another party One action is Mr. Matjoi, like it jump ship. It will from from that so-called moonshock, whatever nonsense and never because principle is not something the DA has. The DA's job more is to take out ANC and take government and rule ka backdoor.
Yeah.
Presidente is fine for a few months. For a few months, and they're going to come pala. You're going to come motion of confidence. You're going to come now because they don't have numbers anymore. Remember, in Parliament. So all these things are going to be done to him, and then from there will be ruled by this white man, Osna Lemetric, for 5 years. Are you serious?
Definitely, it looks like it's a setup.
I'm telling you.
The way you're explaining it, it looks like it's a setup.
It's like that. There is no way. I'm going to play Zile's clip.
Okay.
Now, that's going to, like people who can take pointers from that. I want to play her clip on her plan in her lifetime, what to do with the ANC.
Okay.
How does somebody plan something like that when Eugene Linda Matjoi? And then they still want to come and be in bed with you. They can try to make it romantic. Or our guys, national unity is
Partnership.
all we've been told this whole week is the markets. The markets are gonna be right. Fitch came learner. Hey, it's again. If we can do this thing at ANC, DA, I'm telling you, investment will pour. We are going to explain what is investment. The point I want to people don't understand. What is an investor?
Yeah.
Investor. I give you my money for you to use it for your own things. Ke batla with interest. Ke batla back with interest. You must. I give you That's an investor. Masambudo Panchantar, Kgosi 10,000 similar podcast. That's yours. Hey, that person is fine. For now, you're going to bring it back with interest. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what you are. So this person, investor, I hate that word because we are now being held at ransom. Investor. Markets. Hey, markets are reacting nicely. We don't care about the markets. Go to JSE. Nothing much you put in it. Go to JSE. 90% of those companies are white owned. How does the market save? Go to say. Go ahead.
Yeah. They don't care. They don't care about the markets.
Or they don't even know what the market is.
Yeah.
But we are told by the so-called clever blacks, markets are going to be fine. We're going to come and have investments. We're going to be okay. Hey, we're going to... This is Kgosi FM. Right today it's almost the Friday Madness, but it's not. Yeah, before you can go further, we're gonna thank today's sponsor before Eugene, and then we have a sponsor in this program. Every single that we get. So we're gonna play sponsor Sarnapili. Then I'm gonna give you guys a chance to munch on this thing for 2 hours. We're gonna talk about this thing. If I'm wrong of what I said earlier, please correct me because you are the man more than us, and then we can take it from there. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. Be right back after this. This show is brought to you by Segongane Medical Services and Clinic. They are private clinic situated in number 70 Governemnt in Westview, Danville. They specialize on the following: primary health care, ailment diagnosis and treatment, including medication, wound care, family planning, well baby clinic, basic ultrasound, laboratory blood services, treatment of chronic illnesses, treatment and management of patients on ARVs, wellness screening, antenatal clinic, HIV services and counseling. They have a pharmacy on site and they are doing CCMDD services as well, OHS clinic, circumcision clinic and abortion services. Their cell phone number is 064 548 7176 or 071 422 8576. Again, the address is 70 Governemnt in Westview, Pretoria West in Danville. Cell phone number again is 064 548 7176 or 071 422 8576. Yeah, we are back, and that is our sponsor for today, Segongane Medical Services and Clinic in Westview, Pretoria West in Danville. The number is 064 548 7176 for them, and then 071 422 8576. You want to come and consult, 350 consultation, you come down, and then the medicine is separate. You don't take medical aid yet, but you take NHA. So don't need medical aid anymore.
It's coming.
Yeah, I like that one. Well, yes. And I'm going to, Mr. Matjoi, is still here again?
No, I'm here.
All right. We're going to play a number of clips. Okay, guys. Just a number of clips, fella, and then we're going to take on that. We're going to start talking about that. All right? Okay. And then I'm going to play Zile the plan. What is the plan, Helen Zila, about this, what they want to do as a Barakim? what you call
GNU.
GNU. Hey, pila is in GNU. What their plan is, got this government, yeah, ANC, pila. You understand? Let's take a listen to this. Aye, Junior, is in man.
And let me make a prediction. Because the ANC doesn't know what it stands for anymore, because it can't revert to principles, because it hasn't got any, believe me, in my lifetime, I will see that party die too.
Yeah, that's Zile Day. In my lifetime, that's my joy. In my lifetime, I will see this ANC die too. That's the person that they're saying must be in bed with. By the way.
It's not fighting for power sharing. When we fight against Bozo, we are doing so because we don't want to share power with him. We are fighting against the clerk because we don't want to share power with him. People cannot share power with the enemy. The enemy must be crushed. Who knows? Who right? Who? Come on, sir.
Peter Makab. The enemy, we cannot share power with the enemy. The enemy must be crushed.
True. We
are fighting the clerk because we want not to share power with him. That's Peter Mukaba, the late Peter Mukaba. Now, I have this thing. Black something, I just forgot the name, I'm sorry, but they will say it here on the clip. I'm going to play that, I'm going to play Freud, we're going to start talking about this thing, right? Okay. Let's go.
This is the Black Forum SA. Their CEO is Advocate Kgosi Marota. Mr. Marota, good afternoon. Thank you for coming in.
Yes, good afternoon, Stephen, and greetings to the viewers at home.
Why do you believe the ANC should not work with the DA?
It's a matter of principle, ideological conflicts, different backgrounds. ANC, through our open letter that we have written to them, we said that they should not commit another historical mistake of formulating the so-called united government like they did in 1994, especially with the political parties like DA. In 1994, I can tell you, my brother, they did not even need that, government of unity. Black leaders then just imposed it on the land thieves, imposed it on the oppressors, imposed it on the people who have already secured themselves, their aspirations, their fortunes, their investments through the rule of law, which is the Constitution. So to involve them into the, government of national unity then, it was unnecessary. It was a demonstration that black people, we are playing with power. When we have power, we do not know what to do with it. When we have a political power, it's not like a beauty contest, a beautiful girl, slender and all that. Power, you must use it when you have it, So we were coming from that premise as a Black Forum to say, we encourage you, the ANC, that people have voted the way they have voted in these elections in order to unite the black power.
Do you believe?
That was Morota from Black Forum. It's an organization called
Business
Black
Forum.
No, not business, just Black Forum.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, and Floyd Chimbambo, they had their own, sort of report back on what, because Bone, except for Julius Malema, they are formed this negotiating panel. So everybody from NFL class, they are doing that. Julius is not doing. So he said he had to say this today.
No, look, let's deal with this issue of the government of national unity. We are opposed to the government of national unity in as far as it resembles what was concocted in 1994. So if you were to check the outcomes of that government of national unity of Nelson Mandela, it had F.W. de Klerk as an executive deputy president. It had Piet Botha as a minister of mineral resources and energy. It had Andre van Niekerk as the minister of land and agriculture. It had some mayor from the National Party as minister of the environmental affairs and water affairs. And even he had in social development a minister which came from and apartheid colonial establishment exclusively funded the Democratic Alliance and all these puppet parties. A lot of resources, hundreds of millions, were invested not just to fight the ruling party, the ANC, to fight against the economic freedom fighters. Where you had political organizations who dedicated their energy, their resources, human capital, and everything else that they dedicated was against the economic freedom fighters. We're not going to form part of any government with the Democratic Alliance. We're not going to sit alongside the Democratic Alliance and Freedom Front Plus in government as the economic freedom fighters. And we are not desperate for positions in government. We're not going to do everything in our power so that we're appointed into cabinet or we become speakers of parliament and all of those things. We're not going to sit alongside the land thieves. We're not going to sit alongside the people who got to benefit unlawfully for a very long time from colonialism and apartheid. We're not going to sit alongside them and constitute the government of South Africa. If the ANC wants to choose that route, they can go ahead and do what they did in 1994. And we know what are the consequences of what happened in 1994. Black people and Africans in particular remain on the margins of economic participation in South Africa. Black people more or less stay in the same spaces that they lived under when apartheid had segregated Black people to inferior spaces. It's still a lived reality. Racism is still a reality. Poverty of our people is still a reality because of this government of national unity. If there's going to be any government of national unity, there must be clarity of what unity, what are uniting on. And our agenda that we're placing is that it must be the land question that must be at the center of what unites whatever government is going to be constituted. Must be a common agenda to improve the lives of our people, because our people are still on the margins of the economy. It must be an agenda to provide free education. Must be an agenda to protect workers' rights and interests, to enforce minimum wages in all the sectors where they are applicable. That is what the agenda should be all about. It must not just be about position sharing. It must be on principled issues that primarily emancipates and protects the interests of our people. That is the agenda that we are looking into. So you must look into the statement which we issued at the Results Operations Center. We say, as the EFF, that whoever is going to constitute government with us should have an appreciation of what we stand for.
This is News. Yeah, that was Floyd Shivambo and answered the EFF stance. Wabon, yeah. Thank you, so. Mr. Matjoi, I'm good again.
No, I'm here, my brother.
All right, I read it.
Too many people.
All right, I'm gonna put that song as a background on that you get one. I get the song. All right, we are back. All right, Mr. Matjoi, can I give you the first bite? Few minutes.
No, good evening.
Evening.
Thanks once more for the opportunity given. Let me also greet my colleague there, and welcome to the show. Like I always say, we are going to learn from each other.
Yes.
And during the process of learning, we must clarify. We must then also give issues context.
Yes.
If need to be the correct historical backgrounds. My wish is that the podcast must not be a platform where either two ill-informed or more than two individuals are brought together and share propaganda deliberately or otherwise.
Yeah.
And then where there are mistakes or misinformation, it must be corrected.
Yeah.
With a sole purpose of clarifying. Secondly, let me also indicate that I'm no longer an aspirant NPL. given the fact that the elections are over. I was number 3 in the list of HNSA.
All right.
We obtained a single seat, so I'm no longer there.
Oh.
The party is represented by the provincial leader.
Kgosi Mangope.
Kwena Mangope, yes. And then secondly, I'm just an ordinary political activist and a leader in my own right. I've not been assigned by the party to speak on its behalf, but I've always been invited by your good selves to come and participate.
Yes.
And then secondly, let me also bring this thing. The topic for today is government of national unity.
Yeah.
The word unity is a buzzword, and then it shouldn't just excite us. We need to unpack it.
Yes.
As a nation, and we know that the ruling party, when it went to its last national conference, we are told that when power had to shift from one group to another.
Yeah.
One member who had to determine who wins came in with this buzzword of unity.
Yes.
The former deputy president, Mabuza.
Yeah.
And he fooled everybody by using the word unity.
Why do you say he fooled everybody?
Yeah, you remember, we are told that chances were that NDZ was likely to win the conference.
Okay.
Was it NDZ or Mkhize, one of the two?
Mkhize. The recent
it was
conference.
Right? Yeah, it was Mkhize who was likely to win the conference.
Yeah.
And then Mabuza then went in because he was part of the Premier League.
Okay.
And then he just stood at the center between Ramaphosa and Mkhize and said, I don't want to be seen favoring this against this one. I'm bringing this word of unity. The conference delegates must emerge united.
Yeah.
But it was a skewed unity because there was an exchange.
Okay.
I don't want to explain the exchange of what.
Yeah.
But we are told that there is CR17 and whatever.
Yeah.
So as a country, when somebody comes and say, let me tell you the truth, today you ought to be very cautious, and be very worried and clear. What type of truth is this? Because surely of late we are no longer having absolute truth. And when somebody talks about unity, you need also to be worried. Why now? And what type of unity is this?
Yes.
You see, 1910, the formation of Union of South Africa. South Africa is divided into 4 provinces. The 8th of January, 1912, South African Native National Congress is formed.
Yeah.
By Kgosi Kakasene. And then, so the issue of the land has always been there. And then 1919, if I'm not wrong, the ANC changed, the SACP, South African Native National Congress, changed its name from SACP into ANC, African National Congress.
Yeah.
And in 1921, they started to work together with the formation of Communist Party of South Africa, CPSA, came in. And that CPSA, it was for white people. And the white communists in 1921 who formed Communist Party of South Africa,
yeah,
they said they want socialism for whites in South Africa. Now I want to bring something, and you must note what I'm trying to say because it's a recorded history. They said they want socialism for whites.
Yeah.
In South Africa.
Okay.
Now I want to say because this GNU that you are speaking about of 1994, it was championed through what was called the sunset clause that was driven by Joe Slovo, who was a white person, but not born in South Africa.
But he was a communist, right?
Yes, he was a communist.
Okay. Part of the SACP.
Yeah, then it changed from CPSA to become SACP.
Yeah.
But put it aside.
Okay.
So that your then CPSA is the very same SACP because it had to change.
Yeah.
I think in 1951 they then changed from CPSA to SACP, if I'm not wrong.
All right.
Yeah, but it's the same thing. But then they also had to involve black people.
Yeah.
And also the ANC then also had to work with a white communist. And that thing, it gave the Robert Sobukwe, the founders of ANC Youth League, a problem.
Yeah.
So fast forward 1955 Freedom Charter. When the Freedom Charter was drafted, although it was for Congress of the people, convened Freedom Charter.
Yes.
And people were at the forefront of drafting that in terms of consolidation and influence. It was white communists. And there's this clause, the land belongs to all those who live in it, black and whites together. There shall be, and no government shall claim authority unless it is based on the will of the people, and then the 10 commandments of Clarion Calls.
So compromise has been done for a long time. It's not like a Tomano, Eugene.
Yeah. We'll get there.
Yeah.
So the Robert Sobukwe then said, no, we've got a problem with this item of the land belongs to all those who live it.
Yeah.
But also the close relationship of ANC people with white communists. Now, because the Robert Sobukwe, the Fanaya Mutopeng, they had a problem with the involvement of whites in the struggle. More especially, more so that they were whites and then communists, because they wanted the struggle to be driven by blacks alone.
Yeah.
But maybe the ANC tactically they said, no, let's include these white people because they're sympathetic, etc., etc. Fast forward, 1948, not fast forward, let's take it 6 or 7 years back, 1948, apartheid, a policy was adopted in 1948, which came into different segregatory laws, from settlement, education, employment, education, health, everything that you can think of.
Yeah.
Now, after the release of Mandela has been released under the old apartheid constitution. Now, this thing then diluted the whole thing because people were engaged in a revolution.
Yeah.
And then in this revolution, there was the formation of Umkhonto Wesizwe, wherein Mandela said, this government is violent and they are using guns against peaceful people.
Yeah.
And then he said the famous quote, there comes a time in the life of a man where there remains two things, to submit or fight. We shall not submit, but we shall fight and defend our people by whatever means. The impression that people were given in South Africa that there was supposed to be war. This revolution, just like the Cuban Revolution, even when you look at the revolution that took place in Russia, etc., there were wars.
Yeah. And
it is only when you come from a war, whether as victors or losers, that you are able to have a control that also speaks to the constitution and government.
Yes.
But with that one of South Africa, they call it a settlement agreement. It's a negotiated victory.
But Mr. Matjoi, before
Now,
to
yes,
how do we do that, Eugene? Maybe you can just chip in there for a little while. Like, you are from an oppressive period, right?
Yes.
You have been oppressed for a very long time, and deliberately so.
Yeah.
And then you opt to negotiate instead of take it back.
Yeah.
What do you think?
No,
From Mr. Matjoi,
I hear what he's saying in terms of negotiated settlement.
Yeah.
The fact that instead of taking what belongs to you because you have now become free,
you ask
now
for it.
you're going back to the one who was oppressing you to say, let's work together or let's share this freedom.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of going forward, what now the government that must rule take part in it.
You understand?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
And you have
Why
63% of the vote. Instead of taking power for yourself, Mr. Matjoi, if instead of taking power completely and emancipate black people, you still call the very ones to come in there and say, no, come, let's share this thing again together. Yeah, it's about
Yeah, but no. I agree with you when you said there was a compromise. Yes. The compromise that was reached, you remember MK soldiers were not happy about it. They said, we are ready to fight.
Yes.
Let there be spill of blood.
Yeah.
So that the winner must take it all.
Yeah.
But in the early 80s, there started to be some engagement after Mandela being released from Robben Island to Portsmouth prison. And the Helen Sus men, they started to engage, winning or not winning. Some investors, business people, influential Afrikaner, they started to engage Mandela, all this, all that. Tambo at some stage was not happy. They thought Mandela is selling out. Mandela had to clarify through Zinzi after the letter read at Orlando Stadium that he's still committed.
The reason why they say he was selling out was because he was talking alone. There was an NEC in Portsmouth. Everybody who was with him, they were formed a little NEC there. And they would ask him, why do these people have to come and ask you to come out alone? Why not all of us at the same time? Do you understand?
Yeah, I acknowledge the dissatisfaction that existed amongst some leaders that why are these people going to Mandela alone when Oliver Tambo is the president? And then Mandela said what he said, that no, even if they're engaging me, I have always told them that, but the president is Oliver Tambo. And part of what they wanted to discuss with Mandela was for Mandela to denounce the use of arms struggling.
Yes.
But he said, no, our total liberation, it will be based on whatever number of issues that he raised. Put it aside.
Yeah.
Now, the negotiations that the Thabo Mbekis, the Zumas got involved in compromised the initial plan of life for life and eye for an eye. You see?
Yeah.
Now, Mandela got released. People coming back home, but people were not happy. But maybe they will then appreciate that, no, apart from many lives lost, they managed to save some. But what then became evident is that those who led the negotiations were given shares. Cyril Ramaphosa, there are those that they came from the bush. They started wearing floshem. They started to put nice suits, this and that and that. It's there in the. Is there in the and Christian was not happy about that because Christian said we went there with the belief that we are going to fight.
Yeah.
Fast forward. Remember, we are still operating under apartheid constitution.
Yeah.
Then there was multi-party talks, and then Codesa 1. And then
Codesa 2 as well happened, remember? And why did we have that anyway?
No, so during the negotiations, part of the quantitative compromises that were made was that we'll go for elections, and even if you have won, will then gazette the formation of Government of National Unity. What I'm trying to say is that this Government of National Unity, it was gazetted that even when you have this one being the outright winner,
yeah,
you must include the other ones. So the key word that I'm trying to drive there is that
yeah,
Government of National Unity was gazetted.
yeah,
Because under normal circumstances, when you have won, you are not obliged.
The man had
to
63%.
include. You are not obliged to include. You see?
Anyone.
But because it was, it's your choice. But because as part of the quantitative compromises coming from the sunset clause, it was compelling him, regardless that this one got 33, the sunset clause compelled him that even when he wins, apart from the issue of property clause, not doing away with the old guards into administration, this and that and that and that, it was gazetted. It was part of the agreement that existed by then. So the point that I'm trying to drive, and I want you to understand, because it will then, because this point, it is the one that will make us to say, is this new Government of National Unity similar as that one? And I'm trying to say they are not the same. That one, it was gazetted. It was a condition set for, because remember, we were operating under old apartheid constitution.
Yeah.
So, and then you then have an annexure to say, even if you win, you must involve these ones.
Yeah.
Even if they win, they must involve you. But they knew that the blacks, in terms of numbers, would win. And this one, they will get in there, play a role of building a new nation, but also protecting their interest in terms of some of the compromises that were made through sunset clause.
Yeah.
So it was gazetted. Leave this thing that they, like Shivam was saying, the Minister of Minerals, Energy, Law and Order, Reserve Bank under Crystals or whoever. No, leave it. They are important, but I'm saying I'm trying to say it was part of the sunset clause. But the point that I'm trying to say is that this thing, it was gazetted.
But again, Mr. Matjoi, even leaving it does not make leaving it does not make it to be not important, because I think in its context, how we this thing now about to this thing is because of that's what happened before. Do you understand? And it never went far.
No, I agree. I agree. In fact, I'm saying it's not an issue per se. The whole issue here is the topic for tonight's topic.
Yeah.
Government of National Unity.
Yes.
That one, it was structured, it was legitimized, so it will have all those things. It's fine.
So what do you think?
I'm not saying fine in a sense that I accept it, but I'm saying it was gazetted.
Right.
No, yesterday it was not gazetted. No, the NEC of the ANC made. That's the NEC of a political party. What if Freedom Front met and say, no, our NEC or whatever the top structure said, you see, it shouldn't be a proposal of a political party.
Okay.
It must be a government program, agreement, resolution. You see? So this thing of GNU, it was supposed to be a government thing, not a political party thing.
Okay.
Because in 1991, it was not, Gazette is not drafted by a political party. A Gazette is drafted by government.
Government, yes.
So this thing, this thing here, GNU, is drafted by a political party, and everybody's trying to fall into it. They were supposed to say, no, we can't fall into what you are proposing, because Ramaphosa is a president, like Mashaba, Malema, all the president of political party.
Yeah.
From the political party side. But if Ramaphosa was bringing this thing of GNU as a state president, it will be something else. So I want you to look at it and say no, because you know what politicians do.
Yes.
You must be careful, and I once told you.
Yeah.
When you are a politician and you engage another politician, be careful that you don't allow another politician to set an agenda for you.
Exactly.
So in this regard, the whole nation, politicians from ANC has set an agenda for other politicians, and they are debating it. They were supposed to say, no, that's your own thing there. It's not compelling. But if it was coming from government, where everybody is there debated, it would have been something.
But don't you think the ANC is actually part of this, especially what has been pointed at the most, it was more of the DA and ANC, because like if they're together, 60-something%. So they've got 2/3 already, 2 of them only. Pila they've been trying to push this thing because it's to be like they don't need other parties. So mostly the center of this whole GNU is about the DA and the ANC. The others, yes, Abaka Mitali, MK, EFF, PA, Inkata, ANC. It's beautiful. Now I'll support that.
It's just
the whole debate at the moment, keep between the ANC and the DA.
Kgosi, you are missing it.
Okay.
Nobody's compelled to discuss this thing.
Well, they have.
I'm a family man. And listen.
Yeah.
I'm a family man. You are a family man.
Yeah.
You are not compelled from your family, and even you, Eugene, there.
Yes.
You are not compelled to discuss what I tell you to discuss.
Yeah.
But if the 3 of us are having a company, and then we go and have a meeting officially in our own business, and we say now, let's go and debate this thing of involving our wives and children into our business, then you are compelled.
Okay.
But if I alone, unmandated, I tell you outside the meeting, go and discuss this, whether your wife and whatever, you must say, Matjoi, you and your wife, you were bored, so you discuss that thing, we are not compelled.
Yeah.
I'm trying to say that because the ANC deliberately, they met, they are designing this thing. They are not government.
Yeah.
They met as the NEC of a political party. IFP, Action SA, PAC, AZAPO, EFF, everybody met. DA, they met. They allow another political party to dictate to them. There's nothing dictating to them that they must agree to this debate. They were supposed to be doing this if and only if it was a matter discussed and resolved at 10 days or Cape Town or wherever.
Yeah,
something of that sort. Then it will be compelling.
Okay.
Now they're debating an agenda item of another political party, and they want to make a consensus out of it. And I'm saying it's wrong.
It's wrong.
I'm saying it's wrong. Let me drive this particular point home. So this one of GNU, it was discussed because your CODESA is just a constitutional setup agreed by government that you go have CODESA and whatever resolutions are going to be binding. That is why moving from there, it was gazetted.
Yeah.
So ANC won. Mandela had to include these people based on those conditions. People are not happy, but it's fine. Now, this time around, people are losing. They are saying to people that there are 3 options as a political party. No, there is coalition, there is GNU, there is minority government.
Okay.
Now let's dissect these 3. Government of national unity. It can only occur when there is a winner. And this winner then says, HNSA, PAC, AZAPO, we won 300 seats. We'll only use 290. Can you just release 1111 from you to with the remaining 10 seats? Let them come and join us. Who's saying that?
That's
it's the party that won.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So in this regard, nobody's a winner here. even if ANC obtained 40% and 6 million people, they got a percentage less than 50%. They cannot dictate. They cannot drive this thing of government of national unity. They are the minority with a larger number, but they have not met the requirement.
Okay.
So it's wrong from that point. It's wrong. I saw somebody in one group where you normally participate, somebody trying to justify it, and I looked at it and said, no, let me not bring it. Let me not bring it. But they're speaking as if it's a must. It's not a must.
Wait, maybe, Mr. Matjoi.
They are losers just like this one. I was making an example to somebody.
Yeah.
You and I, we attended primary school at Lore, Motatswa, Maukane, you and I.
Yes.
And you once failed standard 3. I failed standard 3. And you failed 3 subjects. I failed with 2 subjects. Well, we have both failed. Yeah. Why did I fail with 3 subjects? We are going to repeat the same grade. The ANC lost just like any other organization. So they cannot call for GNU as a political party. It's not gazetted.
Yeah.
So they are saying GNU. So this GNU is an artificial thing. It must not be agreed by anybody. Number one, it's an artificial thing.
Yeah.
Number 2, what now? Legislatively, if all parties don't get an outright majority, what becomes legitimate? It's a coalition. It's automatic.
Yeah.
So they are saying, no, we don't want, it's like coalition is option 2. It's not option 2. In this regard, coalition is the one remaining.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
And then they are saying there is this one of a minority government. I don't know what does it mean. I try to look for what is it, because everybody, you know, as you coalesce, you want to reach 51 plus. So
how will this
ANC obtain 40.
Yeah.
Now ANC obtain 40. Once they take the 20 of Action SA 60 of DA, no, that's coalition. It's not GNU. That's coalition. If DA falls off, they take this one of EFF. Let's say EFF, which is 49, and they say Action SA give us your 1% or 6%, whatever percentage of IFP, and then we have 52. Maybe that's what they try to call to be minority government, where all unless minority government is like ANC being the one that obtained 40%, all these others combined together, it means they have a wealth of 60%. Then it means the government will have been made by small parties that came together and then defeat the one that obtained a bigger number, but even though it was less than 50%, maybe that will be your minority government. Yeah. But they know that in this regard, it will not happen. But the only thing that is supposed to be discussing, which is before us and legitimate, is coalition. It's not government of national unity. It's not even there. It's not being gazetted.
Yeah. Why is the problem in
Thank you.
Mokai? In the person who started this whole thing, Keramapos. You know, when he was accepting the king the results, when he was stressing, we have to work together, because he knew that this is going to come to this. And the only closer party that's got a lot of votes and a lot of numbers, KDA, that will save him. That is my opinion. Yeah. Because you're going to be president then, or a first speaker or a first presidency, I think. That's what has been on social media all the time. So, she was listening to his, I don't know, people also expecting from him. What he said was, he was not, cannot like this in a GNU. Government of National Unity. You understand what I'm saying? Cannot like and then Dagmacho high Talosa in that context. And a way as if people must just see everybody working together, blah 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 blah. And he didn't get into the nitty-gritties. Because Fikile Molo was always saying, we are talking to everybody. Who is everybody? Name them.
Yeah, no, you are right.
But what's your take
my take on this is I'll just take off from where you left off just now in terms of what Ramaphosa said during the announcement of the results.
Yes.
And he was prompting that let's all work together. And yesterday, his announcement was to say
Government of National Unity.
National Unity, working together to uplift our society and further the development of our country.
Yeah.
So I think he's trying to sell the idea or package it in a way that it invites all these other parties who favor working together or uplifting our communities or improving the community. So they're not compelled to join in on Government of National Unity, but the invitation is making it seem like it's the right thing to do. The invitation of saying we are uplifting the economy, improving our society, that's the package that is bringing this thing in. And it's like our colleague said here just now, this thing, it's a choice on the ANC side. It's not gazetted.
Yeah.
It's not mandatory that you must do this, but and he's doing it not in his capacity as a president of the country, from a party perspective, from a political party perspective. So he's doing it from that perspective as a choice. They are choosing to go with this term, Government of National Unity, and all of a sudden we are all quiet about coalitions. Nobody's saying anything about coalitions.
Mbazima Shulu said something today. It's another coalition.
It's a form of coalition.
It's another coalition.
They are packaging it in a way of saying, let's uplift the economy, let's improve the lives of our people.
Yeah.
Each party has a manifesto which is targeting a certain problem in our country as a whole.
Yeah.
So now, going at it through the way of saying Government of National Unity, let's all solve the problems of our people, then it's an invitation of sort of lowering the people to come in from different political parties and buy in on this idea.
Yeah.
So that's my take for now in terms of the point that we have raised up to this point.
Yeah. You know what's the problem, gentlemen? The problem is not about coalitions amongst other parties. I've got my own personal problem. We don't want white people in government.
The DA in particular.
Yeah, you know what? You can package it that way. DA, EFF, we don't want these people there. There's a letter that has been circulating in social media. Mr. Matjoi, I think I'm going to read it now. From they will say it's a fake letter, it's fine. But we're going to put it there because it's out there. That letter, it's from Zile. Ne? Helen Zile, federal chairperson. The 3rd of June 2024. Those who are watching on Facebook now, it's on your screen, and those who will watch later, you will see it on the screen there. To Tony Leon and Alan Windy, Siviwe Gwanrube, Ian Mayor Ryan Kotie from Helen Zille. Dear colleagues, as we enter a new chapter in our party's history, it is critical that we adopt a unified negotiating strategy and take a consistent approach to it. Below is our comprehensive part to help us in the process. Objectives: 1, to meet our goals of cementing the DA as South Africa's leading political force, gaining access to the legislature, that's number 1, executive and judicial branches of government, and being able to operate with integrity and transparency for the people of South Africa. We should support the ANC and Cyril Ramaphosa, the president, in the presidential election in exchange for control of the National Assembly. This will open the door to the subsequent removal of the ANC from power. Right? Our support for Ramaphosa today, although contrary to our principles and values, will return to us with full control of the South African political system within a few months. Ne? Thanks to the coalition agreement, we will be able to achieve fair justice in the future, including bringing the Pala robbery trial to a conclusion, and will be able to bring the corrupt to justice. Preparation. Gather all relevant documents and background information related to coalition negotiations with the ANC, including data on ANC negotiating team members. Conduct a detailed analysis of the ANC position during their strengths and weaknesses and potential areas of compromise. That is the letter is out there on the internet.
It's circulating around right
now. We don't know if Vele Zileganete wrote it, but the wording itself, for now, I'll say, I can actually picture her saying that. Mr. Matjoi, what is your take on that one?
I wanted the point of departure for our debate.
Yeah.
Okay.
To be, we are at a coalition.
Okay.
And even if this thing, ANC did it with MK, whether it's Government of National Unity, suppose they call it Government of National Unity, LA, MK, EFF, all black progressive organizations, PAC, ASAPO.
Yeah.
It will have been wrong. It can't be Government of National. It's a coalition.
It's a coalition, yes.
It's a coalition.
Which I will vote for.
So I don't want you to contest a GNU or coalition when it brings DA.
Yes.
That's not an issue.
Yeah.
But the issue that we must first say, no, let's go to the nearest dustbin and bury this concept and throw it at the rubbish dump.
Exactly.
Is this GNU? Because it does not exist from the Constitution.
Yeah.
That must be the point of departure, number one.
It's just a package.
But then the arrangement of ANC calling MK, EFF, or whatever, it's a normal coalition.
Yeah.
Then that one is acceptable.
Yes.
Even if the ANC goes with DA, it shouldn't be called GNU. It's a coalition. You see?
Yeah.
It's a coalition. It's not a Government of National Unity.
But then why did Ramaphosa coin as that? Why did he push it so much Mabano as that? King, was he selling it to us, trying to make it look nice? Or we must just accept it?
Yes, let me tell you. Let me tell you. Because currently, when you talk about...
Hello, Mr. Matjoi. Yeah, let me try to get him back on the line. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, we're gonna give him on the line now in a minute. Yeah, and then we can continue Arabosari, and just pick up where he left off. Yeah, okay. All right. The question, Mr. Matjoi, are you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
All
now,
right.
I'm saying South Africa does not have a standard formula of managing coalition. And where they exist at metros and municipalities, there has been chaos.
Yes.
So they don't want everybody to say, no, let's work on coalition because it's going to scare people. So they are bringing this concept that happened during Mandela's time, and it was nice, it was Christmas, so everybody's going to fall into it.
Okay.
And the three of us say, no, it does not even exist. From a legislation point of view. You see?
Yeah.
Because somebody must say, is it gazetted? If you want me to engage you on a GNU, is it gazetted? No. So why do you want me to get in something that is not gazetted? Because what only exists right now is coalition. So let's engage on coalition. That's number one. So because everybody is now exposed to coalition with the problems that we see from municipalities, metros. So they are taking this word coalition. They use this nice one that once existed in a legit way and during Mandela's time. And they don't even tell people that even the GNU during Mandela's time collapsed because de Klerk walked out. But apart from de Klerk walked out, you need to look at the time when de Klerk walked out. De Klerk walked out after the adoption of the new constitution of South Africa.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Are you getting it?
Yeah.
Because the current did not, it then overruled the old constitution. Because 1994, 1995, we're still operating under the old apartheid constitution.
Yes.
So during that period of transition, it was called interim. But the main, it was legislation and everything coming from the old apartheid. But after the adoption of 1996 constitution, moving forward, there was no accommodation of GNU. Now, that is why they declared Mandela. There was nothing of keeping them obliged to behave in terms of the content.
Yeah.
Because the old arrangement has fallen off. So these ones,
All right.
they're doing things as if we are dead. We are not dead. I was there.
Yes. All right.
You were there.
Mr. Matjoi.
So they are deceiving people.
All right. Bona, ke tlo go phonela ka WhatsApp ne because Matshe wants to be part of the conversation. He just called me now and I can't do a conference call on this nonsense. Like, this phone me, these new phones, let me just try and see if I can do this one. Because I've been trying to do a conference call on this phone, but I'm going to call you ka WhatsApp ne, and then we can be able to do a conference and then we can be able to talk when I lay Smuts kana go one ne. Then I do the people Mohaicho, regai.
I'm okay.
Yeah, let me try to merge you in the Matjoi, then we can be able to have one conversation. If not, I'm gonna call you now a WhatsApp call, then we can be able to talk both of us at the same time. Can I do that in a minute?
No, sure.
All right, thank you. Because Mr. Matjoi, one good luck.
Yes,
all right. Let's do the WhatsApp on it, and then if we can be able to get you both into the Smuts, we can be able to have a conversation. If you pal, I'm gonna do the swapping of the calls. I'll swap you. I'll swap him. Fella, ne?
Okay, no sharp.
All right, swap up. All right, I get drop the Smuts. Okay. Mahaj. Smuts, one good luck. Oh, you wanna WhatsApp here? Hello.
Network.
Smuts, can you hear me?
Yes, good evening.
Oh, Languta Kosiak. Okay, thank you, Mr. Matjoi. Then we can continue. Ne? Just hold on.
Yes.
Yes,
I can hear you.
Yeah, let me put in Mr. Matjoi in as well, that he can be part of this conversation. Then we can continue again.
Okay.
Yeah, just give me a minute.
Okay.
No, sorry, one. Get what? Hello. Smuts.
Yeah, bro.
Hey, one good luck.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Matjoi. One good luck, and I'm sure you should be in now.
Hear you.
Hey, Mr. Matjoi, one good luck.
All
right, yeah. Smuts is on the line as well. Please greet Mohaicho. Greet Mohaicho. Lenele Mozo Dumela Retakani. His same first is in the house. Yeah, Mr. Matshe is on the line. Maybe we can just greet him quickly. Hora Dumele, then Leonard about his opinion about this GNU. Hello, Mr. Matjoi. Mr. Matjoi?
No, Jen, how's it? No, thank you very much for a good discussion, a good topic. Now that the campaigning is over, one is time now to listen to CFM.
Yeah, it's about time. Yes, that's Kalsala Nyaka generally. He must be part of our show. Mr. Matjoi has been available all along, but I appreciate him and I appreciate you more who you are here. And congratulations are in order. Mr. Smuts is going to be going to our Northwest Legislature, man, as an MPL. I think, yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Matshe. And congratulations for your appointment, Kgosi. Hello?
Very much. It's a big task going there.
Yeah.
Being the first originally from Itsoseng,
yes,
going to legislature.
Yeah.
For 30 years it has not happened. So it's a real big responsibility.
Yeah.
And thanks all for your support. Yeah.
No, and I believe you're going to put us candidate as Itsoseng first. You're going to put us out there as Itsoseng first. Hey.
But we need everybody's contribution.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, part of the problem, Matjoi's plan did not succeed. He said he had a plan of having the agenda of Itsoseng development being raised from all the sides of the legislature. So unfortunately, it's going to be raised only from one side.
At least like we have one of you in there, even though we don't have both of, at least we've got one of you there. And then Matjoi now will be doing on the sidelines. From Kgosi FM or Ironman. It just needs help. At least if we have you in there, it's something. You know one.
Yeah. No, that's fine. It would have been better if we had a person from it to say.
Yeah.
That would be quite good.
Why, but no, why? All right,
yeah.
General, today
but just coming to my short input.
Yes. About this GNU, yes.
Yeah, coming to my input. Yes. Well, the first thing, I hope I'm audible.
Yes,
I hope I'm audible.
You are very audible.
You are?
Yes, you are. Hey, General.
Yeah, I'm far from home on the duty, the government of national unity.
Okay.
So, it's keeping me away from...
Okay.
All week I've not been home, and I'm the work of the government of unity. Not yet gazetted.
Okay, Mr. Matjoi, not yet gazetted. It's not gazetted, this one, yeah.
It's on a concept.
Not gazetted yet.
Yeah, no, maybe let's just say a few things. Yeah, a few things that I want to raise. Firstly, is that our road to political liberation sometimes get distorted, and sometimes hearsay and the street talk get to be accepted as factual.
Okay.
For example, the fact that Krizani was not happy is not entirely true. It's not true. Krizani was the one who mobilized, went around mobilizing for the implementation of the decision of the National Consultative Conference that was held in Durban at the University of Durban, Westview.
Okay.
So that's where all these decisions were made.
Yeah.
But also, if you read the document from the Kabwe Conference of 1985 of the ANC, not a street talk. That document talks about what we will need to do.
Yes.
And the Communist Party had a document called the Path to Power.
Okay.
So if you read that document, if you read the Kabwe Conference resolutions, that just followed the Morogoro of 69.
All right.
It then gives you a sense of what became the approach of the entire liberation movement. How did they assess the strength of their opponents vis-a-vis the strength of the democratic forces?
Yeah.
And Kabwe said, we are at a stage wherein we have advanced the enemy is a bit weakened, but it's not out. So there will be certain things that we can get as concessions.
Yes.
Remember, ANC says this thing from a point of not being in power.
Okay.
Okay. So if there are concessions that can pave the way for you to come in and liberate the people of South Africa, why not you too? So we'll make time some other time just to come and talk about, because there's always talk about no, it was a sellout. People don't want to read. Number one. Number two, they also don't want to fully appreciate the conditions under which the National Party government was forced to negotiate.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on what you regard as a sellout.
Okay.
But those that were pursuing liberation will not be a sellout. For those that might not have been there today, at the face of it, might sound good. It might sound revolutionary now to call it a sellout. But let's make time just to go into some detail at the right time.
Yeah.
Now, that's the first part. The second part, Mr. Mongale, is also important that we consult political theory, okay?
Okay.
To understand all these concepts. Let me start with a minority government. Minority government, not in terms of what the ANC says, no. Just in terms of the theory that you learn when you are there in a political science class. They tell you about a majority government. That's where you have more than 50% as a party. It's called majority government. Therefore, you use your own numbers to govern, to constitute government. And you are free to even invite people that are not from your organization into your government. It's been happening in South Africa. The last time, the Good Party was invited. The other time, there was invitation to Azapo. Mr Mongale was there for some time. So it has been happening where in the ANC is a majority, but it will invite other parties to join. The second theoretical concept, not ANC concept, by the way, theoretical concept that you learn from political science is called minority government. This is where you have one party effectively having more votes than the others.
All right.
Okay? But it does not have more than 50% to can use its own numbers to govern.
Yes.
Now, what people do, in terms of the theory, if these other parties say, we will not frustrate you, we will vote for you want as president, it's what is called a minority government. It means you are assured of the votes, but you are not assured of the support on everything that you will be doing throughout the term.
All right.
Okay?
Yeah.
They can say, we elect you as president. But down the line, they say, we don't agree with this point. They are not part of your government, okay? They are not. They allow you to constitute government because you have more votes, but you don't have the majority.
Yeah.
Called the minority government. The third one, which is called a coalition. That's where different parties amongst themselves discuss and say, there's nobody who has a 50%. So let's work together to constitute a government. And each party will say, this is what I will bring. And this one says, if you give me this, I'll be happy. You know, what DA is saying. DA says, if you give us the position of speaker, if you give us the position of, and I'm not saying it from the street, I'm from those meetings where they told us.
Yeah.
Okay. And they say, well, give us the position of the speaker, give us the position of Minister of Trade and Industry.
Wow.
And that's where we said no.
Wow. Okay.
Trade and industry.
Yeah, man.
We
Yeah.
said no.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I'm just explaining the concept. Unfortunately, I was just using this practical example, but the political theory says it's a coalition. That's where different parties come together.
So then why did
Now,
Ramaphosa...
it's distinct from a government of national unity.
Okay, but then why did the
A
president...
government of national unity kicks in
Yes.
when you are... It kicks in when you... Can I just conclude this point?
Okay, yes.
A government of national unity, it kicks in a situation where two contending political structures accepted an electoral process, even though it can produce a winner.
Yeah.
It will not resolve a national question, and therefore, whether you win or whatever, you still need to bring in. For example, take the example of the Hutus and the Tutsis, the Tutsis and the Hutu.
Yeah.
Why they needed a government of... Because any of these ethnic groups was not going to accept. Yes, so either way. So even if the Hutus will have won, they will not be legitimate in the eyes of the Tutsis.
Okay.
Equally, if the Tutsis win, they will not. So it's just one example in theory. Equally in South Africa in 1994, had a situation wherein the nationalist loyalists
yes,
were determined to attack and destabilize an ANC government.
Yeah.
Equally, if the nationalists would have won, you think the people in the ANC were going to accept the nationalist government as legit? They would not have accepted. So in that situation, you are attending to a national matter, a national question, and you have a project. And the project in 1994 was about having a new constitution adopted to move us out of the apartheid constitution. That was the project.
Okay.
Now, in this era that we are in, there's a crisis.
Yeah.
A crisis of unemployment.
Yeah.
Nobody says there's no crisis of unemployment. You can't resolve it by the votes.
Okay.
You must attend to that problem. There's a problem of the economy. There's a problem of the cost of living. It's a crisis. There's a crisis around the crime and corruption.
Yeah.
It's a crisis. The fact that you are just a few hours after the elections, a minister is arrested. Don't think that's a crisis. It's a crisis.
Yeah.
A few hours later, a municipal manager is arrested. It's a crisis.
Yeah.
So you want everybody to come together and say, it's no more a party matter.
Yeah.
The whole nation. So I'm just giving you the theoretical framework within which a government of national unity kicks in. It doesn't have it's not legislated. It's a political process.
Okay.
So it's not accurate that the government of national unity in 1994 was legislated. It was not.
Okay.
It's a product of the political discussion. So I'm just saying at the level of theory, without going into this specific one. At the right time, we'll come into the show and explain this specific one. I just thought I just needed to bring in the political theoretical framework for all these four concepts that that's all my input for today. Thank you very much.
All right. So can we ask you a question or two? Yes, maybe Mr. Matjoi would like come in.
No, can I come in?
Yes, Mr. Matjoi.
No, thanks for the input made by Matshe, and congratulations to him.
Yeah.
I think Mr. Matshe and I are not too far from each other.
Yes.
And the references that he is making, the Kwabe, he is the one who also ensured that I go through that.
Yeah.
Familiar with the 1985 Kwabe conference. I'm also familiar with the path to power. I'm familiar with the ready to govern.
Yes.
That's number one. So, and Mr. Matshe is a PC member of South African Communist Party. I'm a member of the organization where I am. But the background, yes, will not be equal, but the background is there. So some of these things, we are not saying them from the street. That's number one. The second point is it's about the view of Kisami.
Yeah.
We all know. He said what he said. We all know that Kisami was one of the most said MK commander. When Mandela made an announcement that MK will be disbanded and whatsoever. And Kisami was not happy because he was not consulted. But there's a disciplined side of the movement. He accepted the decision with a bitter heart, and we went out to demobilize other MKs and say, in terms of democratic centralism, decision is taken, might not be beat, but part of the bigger scheme of things and the bigger picture in terms of where we are as a country. We need to have negotiations moving smoothly. So we all agree. The fact that Christian agreed the word go is not true. He was not happy, but finally he had to accept. There's number two that I also need to bring.
Yeah.
The other thing, I think, this I agree with me. While from the level of negotiations and CODESA, it was discussed at party positions, but it had to be legitimized at the level of government.
Yeah.
In this regard, the ANC is bringing in the GNU and is saying to other political parties, let us go and engage.
Yes.
And I agree with him on that. But to say and agree that it is at the level of party platforms, I agree with him. But it is not yet a government program.
Yeah.
And the issue of crisis back then and now. Yes, back then there was issue of black on black violence, the issue of how blacks persist whites persist blacks, vice versa. That was the then crisis.
Yeah.
Crisis today, unemployment, poverty and everything. I mean, we are just 8 days away from elections. The very same thing that were just happening on the 28th, 27th, 26th of May.
Yeah.
It's not something new. And all political parties contested under the ticket of addressing the issue of unemployment, poverty, etc., etc. And the arrest of ministers, the municipal manager for Matrosana, it's not anything new. Many from Gitsobota and in all municipalities and provinces, it has been happening. So it's not anything new. So this crisis has always been there.
Yes.
But the point that I'm trying to register is that we all agree that we understand the coalition. It has been happening in South Africa from your metros and local municipalities or districts. It has been happening.
Yes.
We agree. Master Matjoi agree.
Okay.
And thanks for the clarity, because remember when I spoke about the issue of minority, I was not that much sure to say, I don't know how do they interpret it. And we said from a theoretical point of view, how it is being interpreted. And then thanks for that, because remember what we said, we are not absolute. And if I happen to be clarified on that matter, I will not have a problem. But on the issue of 1994, your de Klerk being the deputy president, the Musubu Mangena, the Patricia Deville, and all others being called by the ANC. Happening. Yes, it was the ANC won beyond 61%.
Yes.
That I agree. It makes no difference. But in this regard, there is no absolute winner. There is no absolute winner. And what is left for us? It's coalition. It's coalition. So the ANC saying, because we got 6 million plus giving us 40%, UDA, you got whatever percentage with number of seats. Let's come together, EFF, whatever. That's coalition.
Yes.
But the understanding, and like he explained it, if they say we give you the presidency in the Ramaphosa or ANC under whoever you agree upon, we give you the presidency. But it means this executive power becomes limited in a sense that you can't then say, if I move the issue of NHI, you will succeed because you will always be reminded that, but remember, you don't have absolute power. You see? And that's where the debates are now starting to revolve to say, and then it becomes this thing as Yakuniba. That is why all of them, the EFF says no. If we coalesce with you as the ANC, suppose DA falls off, you give us a Ministry of Finance. The ANC might also say no, we disagree. Just like they are disagreeing with what DA is proposing in terms of we need trade and industry or whatever that they are saying. So yes. It's a common thing. So it will always be give and take. There will be all this, all that. But the issue here for discussion and debate, it was an issue of government of national unity.
Yeah.
But I was saying, now the ANC having the majority votes that are below 50, maybe as the leader of society in their own right, they are trying to say to people, let's put the nation before all of us.
Yeah.
And then people are now debating it from them. And they've got the right to agree or disagree. That's what I'm saying. And the issue of national unity, we have not yet arrived there. And government national unity, in my own understanding of opinion, where I'm coming from, it can only be done despite the crises that are there that needed to be resolved as part of your national crisis by the party that will be leading the state. But in this regard, there is no political party that has won outright. So it will be something. And I'm of the view that it needed to be gazetted and officiated. But at this point in time, just like it was discussed either at CODESA or multi-party, now the ANC met, DA met, Action SA met, IFP met, all that. Now they are releasing a team of 5. ANC has, they said they excused president and deputy, and then from the top 7, 5 is remaining. EFF, I don't know, whatever if they're going to release. IFP said they are going to release. All this, they call them a team to discuss this coalition, etc., with the intention of creating the so-called GNU. And what we are doing now is not that much different from what happened in 1994. 1994 had its own challenges and crises. Today we've got the crisis that exists today, and the team will have to discuss common areas and areas where they differ. And the unfortunate part with this thing, why it succeeded, apart from ANC leading GNU because it won, Mandela, I think he got 62 or 63%, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Or the ANC, not Mandela as a person. It is because there was an outright winner, and the period of discussing the formation of GNU, it had ample time. But with this one, I'm afraid as an individual and as a South African and a political activist, where I'm sitting, to say, are we just going to do it for the sake of, because we are now compressed, we are now left with 10 days. And will people do justice? And where people are, it's like, no, I don't get what I put on the table. I disagree with you. I was discussing with somebody today, asking me my position and of Action SA. And I was saying to the individual, Okay. I'm afraid that we may arrive at a point whereby even 10 days will reach 10 days without people having agreed. And then after 14 days lapsing, I don't know what will happen. But I think the prescripts are clear that what needs to happen. Thank you.
All right. So okay. I want to ask General something, Kapila. So, General, the SACP said they're not going
to...
Okay, yes.
Can I just something?
Yes. Ukabua, Ukabua. Yes.
Maybe what we can agree to do, I know I did not come here to debate the current GNU. I just came in to provide a theoretical basis for all these concepts. But you're insisting that the GNU as a rule must be gazetted. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
I'll visit you over the weekend. We'll together Google just to get that Gazette of 1994 as a starting point, and we'll report back to you, Kgosi, whether we found that thing. What I can tell you, we can Google for the whole week.
Yes.
There's nothing like a Gazette for a government of national unity.
So why was it done then in 94, Mr. Smuts?
Your understanding, 1994, akuna Gazette.
Okay.
It's parties' agreements.
All right.
The agreements that we will form a government that will include you. Okay?
But we won.
It does not matter which direction.
We won 63% of the vote.
It does not. No. The misunderstanding is that
before that, because you don't interject. Before that, Smart. Because you don't interject. Allow General to submit his view.
No, that's fine.
Then,
that's fine. No, I enjoy interjection. I enjoy it. It's healthy.
Yeah.
Now, it did not come after the results are announced. Go back to your timetable. A government of national unity was agreed to as a product of the negotiation. And it then opened the further discussions on the principles that will then guide that constitution.
Yeah.
Now that we are agreeing that we will all be in government, okay, to draft the constitution, what are the principles? So it's not an afterthought that comes after the elections.
Yes.
For 1994. It was agreed in the discussions. Okay? When you look at the situation now, I can say it's an afterthought, if I'm to use that word.
Okay.
It's an afterthought because this political theoretical concept of government of national unity comes as an afterthought on the base of an electoral outcome. You are seated with a crisis that the disciples of state capture, they are not giving in.
And who are those?
And they might destabilize. It's the people that are reflected in the Zondo Commission report.
Okay.
That report has a number of people. And remember that report also said, we've only touched the surface at the national, to some extent provincial.
Yeah.
And the mass in municipalities has not been touched. It mandated the national executive of government to have a process of attending to municipalities.
Okay.
So the July unrest, they've got the ability to can be repeated as you move with the implementation of the Zondo Commission.
Yeah.
So where we are, the ANC does not have that majority to can implement that report. It requires national consensus.
All right.
Okay.
Yes.
To do it. So we'll make time and go into some details. Fortunately, I was in some of these discussions, but my input today was just on the matter of the theory of what is a minority, what is a majority government, what is a coalition, what is a government of national unity. That was my only part of the input today. I respect your views on, no, Ramaphosa is not, that's fine, those are your views, but I just came on those that part and respect, and I like the discussions. But at the right time, we can be invited just to take you through what are those things that we were looking into when we were discussing.
Yeah. Can you do it tomorrow? Possibly.
No,
you are desperate, but no thanks.
Yeah.
The interim constitution, the clause 88 Act 200 of 1993, the interim constitution that operated back then, accommodated for the existence of a GNU.
All right.
That is the interim constitution clause 88 Act 200 of 1993 accommodated there. Knowing, like, I think Smuts is correct saying it's an afterthought.
Yeah.
But because there was a platform created that let there be this, then it then existed. In this regard, the current constitution does not create that. So the ANC then led the discussion to say, how about we think of GNU given the current crisis that we have?
Yeah.
But it's not obligatory. That's my point.
Yes.
And I'm not only saying this when Smuts is here. I said even before his arrival.
Yeah.
To say it's an ANC view. It's an ANC view. And I'm saying back then it was then gazetted to say now under the existence of this clause 88 of the interim constitution Act 200, this is how the GNU will then operate back then.
Okay.
But and that was the interim leading to the one that was to be adopted in 1996, the current constitution. Does this one accommodate that? I don't think so. It does not accommodate it. Now they're saying now that no one obtained anything beyond 50, can we go back then also acknowledging that there are current challenges of what he mentioned, and all of us knowing them, triple challenges, unemployment, inequality, etc. And that was my bone of contention. And where I was standing, and I'm still standing, I said, with the 40%, the 20%, the 9%, and your whatever with the seat allocation, there is no outright winner.
Yeah.
There is no outright winner. And then the only thing remaining for us is coalition. And in a coalition, everybody must go into this three-legged pot and say, I'm putting this, I'm putting this, I'm putting this, and I'm putting this. And I read what EFF said. They said, not EFF, IFP. They said, as a matter of principle, the fact that the ANC obtained majority of votes, they must lead government. But we will not compromise based on 1, 2, 3. That's what IFP said. And then EFF, they've got their own position. DA, they've got their own position. But when you look at it, it works within the framework of coalition. And I said, before Smuts came in, I said, the fact that we are exposed to coalition being problematic at the level of metros, local municipalities, whether local and district, how about we shift? And you remember one thing that Mashatile wanted to work out a framework to say, how do we manage this issue of coalition? Because today when you disagree with somebody, motion of no confidence, it jumps in and everything starts. So I'm saying we'll then have to develop a framework of how do we manage a coalition. Now, as to whether you call it GNU, that does not exist in the current constitution, there I remain skeptical because it does not exist as it existed back then, formalized from the interim constitution. The current one does not have it.
Yeah.
But I appreciate the coming in of General.
Yeah.
Much as he appreciates our presence and our submissions, and the debates are healthy. And I was saying, not for him based on what he enjoys. I need to listen attentively. That is why I was requesting you not to interject.
Yeah.
Because I need to capture what is it that he's saying so that I can get what he's saying. He can also get what I am also saying. And then whether we are given the period of going to research for a week or whatever, it's neither here nor there. But I'm saying that one, it was formalized from the interim constitution, the existence of GNU as an afterthought, enshrined in the interim constitution after political parties discussing, as it is happening now.
All right.
So that's my point.
Can I just come there in a second?
Okay.
Just in a second. Ntate Mongale, the minority government exists as a political theory. Okay?
Yes,
Majority government exists as a political theory. Okay?
Yes.
Coalition government, they exist as a theoretical framework or a political theory. Equally, government of national unity exists as one of the political theories. Okay? So you can say in political science theory, the thing called government of national unity does not exist. It does exist. Okay? It does exist. Just like a coalition as a theory exists, it does exist. So what's important is then to locate this debate. Firstly, to accept the theories that are there in political science. And then from there, then critique what is being put forward in the current South African situation. Because the GNU is not something unique to South Africa. It has happened on a number of countries. A coalition is not unique to South Africa. It has happened to a number of countries. Now in India, they are going for a coalition, okay? Because the party that has been there has not secured the majority, all right? So my plea is that don't dismiss a theoretical concept that exists in political sciences, but rather focus on what is it that we are doing and what are the shortcomings of the current proposals. Okay? You don't need to gazette a political theory. It should be a product of a political process. So what parties are doing now, they are testing whether this theory of GNU will be practical. Okay? And if not, they will then opt for a theory that they think is more appropriate to our situation. Okay? That's the point that I'm really trying to make here.
All right.
Thanks.
So, General, just...
Before that, I think General agrees and I will acknowledge that I'm not contesting that. I was talking about its legitimacy from a constitution point of view, and that has been my point of departure.
Okay.
I was arguing it in terms of its legitimacy being now something that is being that is enshrined in the constitution. They initiate as a political theory initiated by ANCSA, apart from minority, apart from majority, apart from majority GNU. Let's go into this one because it's a universal political theory that exists I think in Germany they did it. In India, yes, I also learned about that Modi did not win, and other political parties. That I agree. My point was saying, as of now, in the current constitution, it is not enjoying the rightful place. But as an afterthought, let political parties debate it. And it's correct to say, let us identify the limitations, the weaknesses, and say, if we prioritize and put the nation first on these crises, the triple operation and others, can we agree? Yes. And then do we then adopt the GNU as a theory that will move along? Then there will be that debate. If people say no, we are, the fact that we are not obliged to agree with you on this one.
Yeah.
See, now we want to operate the coalition, and because coalition and is legitimate. It is there. The Constitution has allowed a situation whereby if there is no outright winner, therefore political parties will then have to engage each other and share power sharing. You see, so I was not contesting the theory per se. I was saying its legitimacy into the current constitution as compared to the period when it existed in 1993 during the interim constitution. It found expression there. So it was a question of legitimacy. Okay. So, but where we are with the ANC with 40%, Ababamuka the 9%, 20%, and whatever percentage DA, HNSA, the 1 and whatsoever. It tells you that Rahuela more coalition. Okay. And as to whether you are minority or whatever, it's something else. So I think we are in agreement, but issue legitimacy or legitimacy in the current constitution.
All right.
And whether there's nothing wrong that
it's legitimate. It is legitimate. There's nothing unlawful about it. The constitution is quite clear. After the elections, the next process is the constitution of parliament. And if the parties in parliament cannot constitute parliament, meaning elect the office bearers of parliament within 14 days, then the president of the republic must dissolve parliament. Equally, if after 30 days they have not been able to elect the president, okay, the constitution says the president must dissolve National Assembly and call for fresh elections within 90 days. So there's nothing in the constitution that says if there's no party that gets majority, go for coalition. There's nothing wrong if your preference is a coalition and you are not in favor of a government of national. There's nothing wrong.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is that our constitution does not prescribe any political theory on the management of an electoral outcome. It simply says, and it does not even say majority, minority, it simply says within 14 days constitute National Assembly. Within 30 days elect a president. That's all. And if you fail, you go for an election. So these elections, if all these parties, by the time a National Assembly is convened by the Chief Justice there in Cape Town on the 17th, if they don't have any agreement that will lead to an election of a speaker and deputy speaker, it then takes us to a rerun.
All right.
That I'm aware of. Yes.
All right. No, thank you so much. But the last question, General, before you leave, because the Rafets are now in 5 minutes. As SACP, are you in favor of this? I can repeat that. Coalition or Ribita General Government of National Unity with the MK involved, or are you in favor with the DA involved? Because the mood of the people, they don't want DA in there because people feel like we are giving the white people power again. So, Lona, as SACP, what are you in favor of? If the MK party says they want to come in, Lona, where do you stand?
Well, I came only at the interest of defending political science theories.
Yes.
And the provision of our country's constitution.
But that question
I said, well, but just to summarize what we discussed on Wednesday.
Yes.
We said one, there's no political party that has well, the first thing is that South Africans have continued to support democracy.
Okay.
So we can't take for granted the millions that queued and participated in the elections.
Yes.
It's a confirmation of their support for a democratic process.
Yeah.
Okay. The second thing is that we appreciate everybody's views in the elections. And it's a healthy democratic situation.
Yeah.
The fact that people are not afraid to criticize even a ruling party. You know, a president is criticized in this country without any fear. Even others are brave enough to even say, let him resign.
Yeah.
So it's a sign that people are now free to express their own views.
Yes.
We then also said we also cannot undermine the fact that more than 6 million people voted for the ANC.
Okay.
And the fact that the ANC does not have more than 50%, it's not something that you can take lightly.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
We said it's actually an indication by South Africans that they don't want a neoliberal agenda. Okay?
Okay.
And the fact that...
And what does that mean, General?
It simply means all these austerity measures that the current government has been implementing, the people are not in agreement with.
Okay.
Neoliberal theories and practices and policies that have been implemented are not benefiting the poor and the working class.
All right.
They are at best driving the interest of capital.
Yeah.
So capital is brutal. They don't care whether you are a capitalist as a president. When they reject you, they just reject you.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Yeah.
That's the brutality of capitalism. And we then said, we are neither for a new liberal agenda as led by the DA. Equally, we cannot close our eyes to state capture, which in these elections is represented by the MK party.
Okay.
So we can't reject state capture and be happy purely for the purposes of constituting government, to invite the disciples of state capture. They are on the other side of neoliberalism. Okay? So we said, we want the ANC, we will pursue the ANC to ensure that they continue with a government of national unity. Okay? However,
with the DA involved or what?
Our view is that don't invite the DA.
Okay.
Don't invite MKs.
Okay.
Because this country is in this crisis precisely because of their own situation, their own belief system. We are in a situation of this economic crisis, unemployment crisis, because of neoliberal agenda pursued by the DA.
Yes.
We are in this crisis of all these things that are delivered. The fact that on average people close roads and demanding services because money intended for services was diverted into the coffers of those that Zondo identified in the report.
Okay.
So we are in this crisis because of these two forces. But we said this situation of the ANC being under 50%, it presents an opportunity to advance the interest of the poor and the working class. Because it says, who is for the poor? Okay?
Yeah.
And we think the agenda of the GNU must be about the working class and the poor, full stop.
Okay.
That's for us what's important as the Communist Party.
Yeah.
Don't tell us about market stability.
Yes.
Our people are poor out there. They are unemployed there.
Yeah.
They are out there without services because of austerity measures, because of state capture.
Yeah. But General,
okay, that's in summary what we said. And we said we are not only placing our hope, we are not placing our hopes in the state alone.
Okay.
We said there are other sides of struggle which we will continue to pursue. Community mobilization, workplace mobilization are among some of those sides, including the side of the battle of ideas, wherein the Western media is currently having a monopoly over what they say. For example, the public broadcaster was running an election campaign. They were talking about a change. Even if people were killed there, they were saying, we want to interview you. What is the change that you are voting for today? For God's sake, if you are saying what change, effectively you've taken a posture on what should be a preferred outcome.
Yeah.
But also, these elections, they happen in a context of international interest.
Yeah.
It's shocking
that
we had an IT system that was procured from outside our country to run our elections.
And
it's actually a sad thing.
And it's the first time, ne?
Quite sad. That's why you had those queues, because that voter management device, it was struggling to get, a connection because of how it was procured. Okay?
Yeah.
So these are some of things that we need to guard if we want to defend the sovereignty of our country.
Yeah.
You can't have a foreign company having an IT equipment that is running our election.
Yeah.
That is quite undesirable. But also the fact that the American and the Israeli interests were at the center of the elections. They are quite clear that they will support everybody who's against the ANC.
Okay.
But also the Washington group, they were quite clear that at all costs, all parties that are opposed to the ANC must be funded and be supported, just to ensure that they get the ANC under 50%. Their target was about 20%, that the ANC was going to get 20%.
Yeah.
It's a miracle that we are at 40%. Because also days leading to the elections on election day, there was general sabotage. I mean, where I'm residing, 1142, that whole block did not have water on election day. It was quite a clear sabotage. You go to Flagstop, about 3 sites, they did not have electricity on election day. It can be coincidental.
Yeah.
It's quite clear that this thing was designed.
So why can't you as a SAP?
But I've committed to make time to come to your show. I don't want to hijack tonight's debate. I don't want to hijack tonight's debate.
No, but I think you could at least you could.
Can I come in? No, I think the input that General is making welcome.
Yes.
Majority of South Africans are saying, how did we arrive here?
Yeah. And
he's consciously and deliberately saying the disciples of state capture, maybe en masse, they are found in MK. But you still have a reasonable percentage of them remaining the ruling party.
Yeah.
And our belief is that either the SACP and COSATU and others and citizens will say, let us uproot all the disciples without necessarily looking at MK. Even in the ANC, if there are those that have been fingered by Zondo, let us fast track dealing. Because the question is, how did we arrive here?
Yeah.
I think one of the things that made that served as a fertile ground for foreign and third force institutions to take advantage of the desperation of South Africans. It's an element of character, of arrogance that developed amongst civil servants, leaders of mass democratic movements, to a point whereby you juniorize the liberation movement, you remove people with content from the liberation movement, you take demagogues, and somebody once said, we no longer have socialists, we've got socialites. Yeah. And they then lead the government and the ruling party. And that's where we are. So what I'm trying to say is that the disciples of state capture, yes, maybe en masse, they are found
in
at
MK. Yeah.
But even in the and maybe you will also find that some of them are in DA, those who might have also committed some crimes. They might be in DA IFP, whatever. But the Zondo Commission will spell out.
Yeah.
That is why today your Zizu Kodwa and media is also trying to instigate people to say your Paul Mashatile, your Nomvola, your President Ramaphosa with Pala, this and that and that. We are aware of the instigation, but if ever the Zondo Commission did not expand its net of considering everybody, we need to do that. One question that is also coming in is that when you said the state capture, was it the correct route that we applied and allowed that it be applied for if the state with its three arms are being captured? And then you take one of them to investigate these others, people who are serving either at your legislature and executive. What if you have some people who are within the judiciary that might have also been captured? Yes. Maybe we could have identified a neutral body. Maybe in South Africa, not outsourcing that responsibility, if ever it was a state capture. But if we believe that back then, it was not, it was out of three, it was the parliament and executive that was captured. Maybe then that is why the responsibility was then given to judiciary. Yes. It therefore does not make it to be called a state capture. Because you can't say even the judiciary as part of the three arms of state, it then do the investigation. That's number one. We are also aware about issues that is raising. Sit here conscious as we are, without necessarily being affiliated, speaking as people who are conscious where we are, to say, yes, we were surprised that how can, because there in your motherboard or whatever board, you saw Telkom. Okay, but later on you are told that IEC outsource some of the responsibilities in terms of data capturing and recording and whatsoever. Yeah. And we are aware that in America, they used to cry foul that Russia did spy on their elections, etc., etc. Maybe this time around it was America and UK and others.
Spying
so
on
it was wrong of it was wrong of our government with those who are supposed to be revolutionary watchdog to have observed this thing the way we're supposed to have. But the question is, how did we arrive there that we can even outsource that responsibility to foreign companies? The issue of the budget or funds that was allocated to IEC. I was saying to somebody, Smuts will agree, and everybody.
Yeah.
You saw the role of party organizations, political organizations, conscientizing their party agents more than IEC in terms of educating, in terms of popularizing the elections. It was political parties that conscientized its party agent to say, be conscious in terms of the counting and how you must observe. The one area that we neglected, it was the issue of capturing. And that's where this malady might have arose.
Yeah.
But how did we arrive there? The type of personnel that was employed, we are aware that in South Africa, elections are not held after 5 years. They are held 2 years after 2 years, 6 months. Are we now starting to capacitate and ensure that IEC is capacitated that going forward for the next coming local government elections of 2026, IEC will not be found wanting? That's number one. Number two, who are these people who are sabotaging? And what type of narratives do we have? We spoke about the issue of Inituse, the absence of water provision in Inituse. My general will agree. Yes, at face value, you see just innocent workers who happen to close water deliberately or otherwise.
Yeah.
And you can't just look at them. There will be a big fish that instructed them to sabotage the provision of water. So when you deal with these workers, municipal workers, who did whatever that they did, you need also to say under whose mandate. But the question is, how did we arrive there? So, and people are saying, liberation movement in Africa and under correction Africa, their lifespan is 25 years. Beyond that, foreign and investor companies will have problems of their existence. That is why you are saying the target of 20%, and maybe they did not. The funding thereof, the message that media was saying. But the question is, how did we arrive there? How did we arrive there? And on the issue of neoliberal agenda, everybody is aware about that. On the issue of structural adjustment that IMF and others are doing to frustrate our people, how did we arrive there?
Yeah.
So now the question of the disciples, they may not only be located at MK, they might be at EFF, Action SA, in E2C, in ANC, in PAC, in DA, etc., etc. So we need, like you are saying, at all sectors of power, we need to go and engage our people to say, is the sovereignty of our country under threat or what? And if it is under threat, how do we ensure that we protect the sovereignty of our country moving forward?
All right.
Do we professionalize and depoliticize services and other aspects that we need to do moving forward? As we bring in concept of NHI, can we agree that we have created access? But now people are no longer interested in access to education and healthcare. Are our building blocks of provision of national health insurance convincing enough? Because as I look at NHI, it's about access to health service. But when people get into Tucson and your Victoria Hospital, do you have personnel? Do you have medication? Is the infrastructure in a position? How do we get there? How do we build our country moving forward? Yeah. So that will agree. But the debate for tonight, it was the issue of GNU.
Yeah.
And we are agreeing, it's not yet legitimized at the level of the Constitution, but as an afterthought and as a matter to be debated from political parties, it is unfolding. And I was saying, this one, it differed because after the debates from your multi-party and CODESA in 1993 to 94, it had to get an expression from the interim constitution of 1993. Thank you.
All right. No, gentlemen, thank you so very much, man, for taking time to be with us today, Eugene. Today we've been taught, bro. We've been taught too much. General Smuts, thank you, bro, so much for gracing us with your presence. And again, congratulations on your appointment as an MPL. We hope to hear more from you on Kgosi FM. Anytime, General, please come be part of us. Please don't say, Kgosi, don't call me, I will call you.
I'm just on the Gazette, but the Northwest Legislature has not yet confirmed that I'm their member.
Okay.
So I'm just benching on the Gazette that the IEC is to my name on the
Gazette. I'm not yet there, but you know what I mean there.
That's why I've not even bought a suit for that occasion. No. I'm still waiting for that. I don't have a suit now.
Are you going to be inaugurated as well?
But thank you very much. We need to. You can't be a member of the legislature unless you've taken oath of office.
So will Kgosi FM be given an invitation
now?
Can Kgosi FM get an invitation, please? You want to be a flounder at the wall, and I see you get in there. Or so help me God.
No. You can apply for accreditation with the legislature. We can facilitate that.
Please, yes.
For your accreditation as part of the media entourage.
Yes.
It will be quite helpful for the people out there at home. But just to indicate that this week will be quite hectic.
Yeah.
On our part, there's interviews for the premier candidates.
Okay.
And if the national leadership is not happy with the three, they are free to can look at the profiles that have been submitted of all of us, and then they can invite two others for consideration.
All right.
From there, there's going to be an announcement on the candidate, and then there will be a process of deciding on who is the speaker, deputy speaker, chief whip. From there, we go to elect the speaker, deputy speaker, and the premier. Immediately thereafter, there will be a process to constitute the executive council. So this 2 weeks will be quite hectic.
Yeah.
So my preference will be that on my role there will only come to it maybe after 2 weeks.
All right.
But I can come now just to deal with the matters of the current discussions on the government of national unity and the implications of parties not getting an outright majority in South Africa.
Are you around Gauteng, General?
I've just left Gauteng this afternoon.
All right. All right. But okay, no,
yeah, but well, I can't disclose now.
Oh,
because
MPL
there are
vibes
issues now. The security issues have kicked in now.
Yeah.
Security issues have kicked in now.
Yeah. Okay. Ne Kgosi tse ding tse a di disclose media media na overboard. I was going to wonder if you could tell you who guy where go guy.
The media's job is to get in where people don't get in. Oh, man, let's end the deep. Okay,
you must behave. No, you must behave.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so very much. Thank you so much, man, for taking our time and being with us here. I'm proud, and I'm very proud of Segongane to see two gentlemen like yourselves up there and doing it for us as well. Because you know what? Thank you so much for this, what you're going to be doing for us and what you're doing for us. And I hope it's not only going to be name, it's going to be in deed as well, like especially for the case in that one.
No, we will. This is a very difficult 5 years.
Yeah.
We will have to turn around the situation.
Why, Bon? I believe. Like I said, let's make our name Kanitri to same first. It must really mean something. Why, Bon?
Yes.
All right. No, Mr. Matjoi.
No, thanks.
General Smuts, good night, guys. Thank you so very much for taking your time again for being with us today. Like I'm so general, please I give phone as well phone the
only time when I don't take your call is when I'm in the GNU discussion.
No, thank you guys. Have a good night.
Concept here,
No, sharp. All right, sharp guys. Have a good night.
No,
cheers. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Oh yeah, Eugene, my brother. Yeah. These are the two gentlemen, man. They are from home, Balbabediana. I'm very proud. Yeah, Renal, this organization will have a visit to Sem Fest, right? It's a little NGO homologation where we talk most about our issues to go high. Go high common is something is very terrible. Me and the little girl also good thing. I picked up kind of 2016 when I was she was doing matric, and I was there. It's a exhibition go one of the high schools, and I saw told listen, one day I'm going to open up a clinic, must come down because I do know how and I understand the situation. It's not nice.
You come from there, so
So Smarty was one of the people that we started this whole thing with. It's first, and then how he has been in legislature for a long time now. They've just shown us the list is in a part of the people going to be members of provincial legislatures. Beautiful. So Matjoi Lene Unampozar, he's going to be part of that. So I can actually say they didn't do well in Northwest, so they only got one seat. So that's why they put the leader province got there. So, but it's not a problem. It's not a train smash. It's a gender thing.
But they're doing well.
They're doing very well, my brother. And I'm proud. Let me be called a tribalist. I'm proud that we have people like this, and one day we'll see them in the National Assembly. You understand what I'm saying? And we have to now don't do this thing. People must be ashamed of where they come from. This thing Twitter, I've seen one t-shirt saying 100% Zulu. I'm like, yeah, this one saying 100% Tsonga, mine was saying 100% Tswana, other one Mopedi Twi. It doesn't matter.
You must be proud.
You are proud of where you come from, your language, where you are, and you can see at least it uplifts somebody. You understand? Because one of our own has made it in Gauteng. Look at him.
Yes.
Hence, he's been listening to us ever since the beginning of the show, by the way.
Yeah.
And like I said, the man is an MPL in waiting for goodness
And he
sakes.
want to contribute.
Hey, and then he
wants to
got
get
and he came off to him. Maobane. When I saw the list, I was in the group and I'm like, let me just talk to him in private.
Yeah.
People was like congratulating him. Congratulations. Yeah, I'm gonna talk to him in private. Congratulations on your appointment. We hope this is gonna be good news for our township, obviously, where we come from. And then Kibeke phone Mabani and he said, I'll call you back. He didn't call me back. I understand he's a busy man. And now when I saw his phone come back, Jesus, I can't lose this man.
Yeah. Yeah, that was quite good. It made the show.
You understand?
tonight.
Yeah, no. And he's very good. I know him. He's very good.
You can hear from the knowledge that he.
Do you understand?
that
Yeah.
he's
So it's
sharing.
people like this that we need in our political schools. Do
Yes.
you understand? Where people have been taught since about some time how the political work can twins and so people have got more. Lene Matjoi is very knowledgeable. I love him because he can. That's why more Kgosi FM we like this show.
Yeah.
We give you a platform.
Yeah. To
Express
share,
yourself.
to share. Yes.
Talk. Let people learn because you're not only doing this for likes or clicks. No.
Educating.
One understand the whole
society,
point of
yes.
having a political political stage, more Kgosi FM, more Gadiswaga, is because of people must understand.
Yeah.
Because most people don't know what's going on. But when I feel like you're a voter, I mean.
Yeah.
So whatever has been taken, go to Mgwale,
We
for one
don't
is
know,
nothing.
and most of us we don't care what's going
Exactly.
on.
That one. So guys, that was General Smuts, man. General Smuts. Just that hijikile show. So he's from Mitsu saying he's a MPL and he's he's on the list. Yeah, SACP to Northwest Legislature. Mr Matjoi, and like I see, like today or no, he was on the list number 3 on the XNSA list, but unfortunately they didn't do well in these elections. They only got 1 seat in Northwest, so obviously the leader of the province will take it, which is Mr. Kwena Mangupe, who I want to get as well to the show. He must come and talk to me. Yes, the president of Pretoria.
Yes.
He's this son. So I want to get him here as well. Talk to him. Understand? Yeah. All right. GNU is like when it's going to be a topic in West serious feeling. The way they got it looks like it's a big thing, eh?
Yeah.
Some people know this, some people know that, but you know what? We have a long way to go, my brother.
Yeah, there's a lot of information.
But now I blame our politicians. Can't you one? They do not teach our people what they're saying on TV.
Yeah, most of this jargon and the terms that they use.
Do you understand?
The general public doesn't understand.
Hey, it's known by them, but Rona really sort about the public. We don't know what they're saying. Let's go just listen to all that knowledge that General Smuts and Matjoi has just unpacked. But what are all these things that were we didn't even know that.
The political terms and theories.
Yes.
Most public people, we don't know or understand what it means. We just get it from a higher level.
And Ronald, we are just going to vote. From voting, enough as a level TV, so move on, whatever, and then bam, everything is just as normal. We don't know what goes behind the scenes. Yes. So I think maybe we should have stuff like this
more and more of this type.
Yeah, and invite people like that to come to the studios. Listen, guys, come here. Come and teach us. What is this thing of GNU? What is happening?
It's new to us.
You know, what I like about it is that SACP doesn't want a GA. Thank God. Hey, my brother. What's one that the only thing I don't want that party there.
Because we are inviting the enemy by.
Do you understand what I'm saying? We are giving white people the power back. We can't do that. Yeah. Whether we'll try to call national unity, whatever, the fact the GNU thing came because they want to customize and make it very nice. Yeah. People to say, but we are just doing this for peace. No, it's not for peace. The letter we just read now, that can be fake, but that can be true as well. Yeah. Because they never came out and say it's not true. Yeah. She herself came out fake. Then somebody puts that video that I played earlier about is this fake as well when you said you're going to take the inside of power in your lifetime. And she never responded back. You see what I'm talking about?
It's similar messaging that she's putting, but she's denying this one.
Well, she's a politician, obviously. They deny everything. So this concept, I want to hear your point before we leave. The disciples of state capture, KMK. Do you agree with that?
I think the general perception and the messaging that's been made in the media, it's sort of pushing it to that side. But I don't necessarily agree with the fact that Zuma and the whole a group of MK supporters.
Yeah.
And members are like a picture or the poster child of state capture. It's not necessarily true, because there are a lot of people who went in front of the commission. Like Ramaphosa was there.
Yeah, but that was a tea. Did you see that?
Yeah.
That was like a tea thing going on. Just two friends having a chat. I'm like, what
it was friendly, no confrontational questions.
Do you understand? Even from the very people supposed to investigate in this thing. Maybe that is one reason why Jacob had to learn. No, I can't do
I'm
this.
not coming.
Because they are watching us, because it was also cozy. They're the men who said
Very
in parliament.
Very friendly.
Who said in parliament, no, the bossasa money if 500,000 tende by feeling one high jiki filo for CR17. He said himself in parliament, that's perjury. In the US they have arrested him, he lied under oath. He said something, no, if my son Vele is being seen or in a kind of there's anything criminality in that, I will myself personally arrest him. Did he do that?
He said that, but he never acted on it. It was just a front.
Do you understand? Yeah. Because days after, he himself came out, no, that money was a donation to me for the campaign. Which is a lie. Yeah. We all know that. Muslim money shame. We're gonna clip you up.
So they are protecting
Ramaphosa.
the narrative.
You understand? Yes.
It's only the Zuma and the MK part, which is the poster child, which is not necessarily true.
I don't agree with that as well, because I don't think, but like Matjoi said it clearly, Ari, it's not gonna be only on this thing on MK. We cannot put it on MK alone. There are the other ones on DA. ANC be the most of that. They are full there. There are gonna be others. Even you'll never know. But because this commission, the Promocor, it was formed to get Zuma.
Yeah,
that's the thing. That is why even now the media today, it's pushing the narrative towards that.
It's him and his party. They're the ones who were eating with the Guptas.
Why born? And that's what I'm talking. None of that has ever been proven.
Yeah, most definitely.
Like none of Lieutenant General, I will debate him on this state capture thing.
Yeah,
it was nothing of it has ever been proven.
Yeah,
there's never an email, a phone call.
There's no criminal case with Zuma. He was in jail for a contempt of court.
I mean,
the whole state capture thing is painted as the front of it, but it's not in jail.
You understand what I'm saying?
Criminalized for it.
Exactly. Now, Zizi Kodwa, I think, my theory on Zizi Kodwa, I will tell you something.
Yeah.
Zizi Kodwa thinks part of the people doesn't want DA involved in this thing.
Probably they are removing him to sideline.
To silence him.
In all these talks.
And to tell the others, Labon, you breathe the word of this, you are gone.
You are cut off.
You understand what I'm saying? So my theory is Zizi Kodwa is maybe one of the people that guys, we cannot sell ourselves so low today, because Ramaphosa, if you listen to him, got a first speech, Hana got the results. He was punting on working together. Why? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then Jiki Mawabani Bushu, same thing about national unity. Because the concept is the same as earlier 94 to come down here, which you are like he can do the MK fail.
Yeah. Just the two of them.
And they get 50%. Yeah. And then remember, MK is the children of ANC.
Yeah.
Zuma Obletzer, I'm doing this not to form a party pillar to contest elections forever, but to fix this ANC.
Yes.
But because now our media and our white people don't want to see that, that's why DA did an advert. We seem to forget that part.
It was a threat.
The coalition between MK, EFF, and ANC is going to be disastrous to us.
It's going to bring the country down. This is what will happen if.
But all of a sudden, here they are. They want to marry the same ANC. How come?
Yeah, I know. It's just propaganda that they've been pushing.
Do you understand? Yeah. So now I'm saying, I'm going with Mema Sisulu, what she said. Sisulu, what she said was, we need to have a black pact. It's about time.
Yeah.
It's about time.
Yeah. We must put our own.
We've got two parties in parliament that are white.
Yeah.
DA and EFF plus. The rest are black.
Yeah.
Because there's a family called Abenama family, which is busy funding this these people. That's why today
smaller parties that are starting on.
That's why today Floyd Abu Freshibam we don't want to even work with these Oppenheimer funded parties from Action SA to Bosa, my man, Rise Mozanti. It's a lot that are going to parliament now that are having money from one family. Yes. The whole point was never about only to steal ANC votes, but to fracture black vote.
And bring a division there.
Exactly, to bring, because they're not even going to divide us. They did that, by the way.
Successfully
We can go back in history, my brother, and talk about the divisions of these people. What like how did? But the Tswana was only for the Tswanas. Rona. There was Matshe and Matjoi. Kakai, right? Vendors only for the vendors. You never stay there as a vendor. If you know some vendor. Petersburg, it was mostly fractured because it was a lot of pedis all around. Whatever. And all of those were seen as also le Kwantebel. Kwantebel was not like Rona, a solid one. It was more of Kangwane, but they were independent from government. In Telemann Debele Transkei, Siskai, it was one province, it's too big. Split into Transkei and then Siskai, but both of them were closers. You understand what I'm saying? So they did that. But if we can divide them amongst themselves and we improve one, we leave the other one. This one will be envious of that one, and will say, why in Bona KZN? When the Clerk left power, the Clerk signed out this thing in Ngonyama Trust. To give a KZN, the king, the cousin of the whole KZN is the land. You know what I'm saying? That is why they say they never touch that one, because it's the Zulus. Because they're trying to separate the Zulus to make them into a little nation on its own. You understand?
So it's a way of separating or divide and conquer.
Exactly. So that's what the Abrahamers are doing today. I mean, they came to a point where it's Soweto. Soweto come. Soweto people understand Soweto mean. Soweto means southwest townships of Johannesburg. They make sure Zola ke Mazulu fail in the same vicinity like this. Zola ke Mazulu, Dube ke Batswana, in ke Matsonga, Mavenda. Soshanguve simply means Shangan, Soto, Nguni, and Venda. When you mix all that acronym in Soshanguve, and if you look at Soshanguve, you look at where the Sotos are staying. I think it's GG. It's very nice.
It's dominated by.
You go to HH. There's a party, I think, snacks, all those RDP snacks. You look at places like PP1, PP2, and go over Changani Mavenda. Sorry, Tongas. You understand? And you look at Atteridgeville, for example. Atteridgeville in two parts, by the way. We don't understand. Atteridgeville isn't the whole place. It's two townships.
Two separated, but they're grouped as one.
Siku Street cuts them in between. There's a board airing Solsville. There's a board airing Atteridgeville next to that school. I just forgot that school, Mrs. Mokone. We were there last time for Craig exhibition. You look at Atteridgeville, it's very nice. Houses are like one roof,
almost like suburb, almost like
but it's very nice. You look at Botlam, Peko Dimukwale, where Kamuseneke stays, very nice Atlane Mall, Atlane Center, and Atlane, the kind of houses there. Go to Solsville,
different story.
Go to Okra Musongo, Okra Station 6, Okra the hostel, Okra a terrible place.
The squatters and all.
You understand? And then they put this beautiful Baraki Mahmoudi Matabela Sabona, Salbon side. They put it there. It's very nice houses on top of a hill, overlooking all those little things. I was staying there for a little while.
It's the strategy that they've been using.
Do you understand? So these people have used their power, their money to divide us so deeply. So this thing of national unity is not going to work.
Definitely not.
It's us giving the enemy their weapons again.
They are continuing to use the same power.
You understand what I'm saying?
Always used, yes.
So that is it. Hey, get 10 of
Closing
remarks. How was your first day as a podcaster?
We had a long show. I learned a lot, man, from the onset. From the onset, it was just a big punch coming in of education and learning the political language and just what's going on and the history also.
Exactly.
Because Mr. Matjoi went back
and give us a little bit from where it comes from. I like him for that because he's got too much theory.
As far back as 1910 and coming 1912 and
just like that 1948 and everything.
And for me as a young person, I'm just understanding that I think we have lost most of the the depth of what we've been doing or what the the leaders of the struggle have been about. They've changed the tone,
and
now they've been infiltrated. That's the knowledge that I understood from today's show, and also General coming in, just giving the education of the political theories. Most of the things that most.
I didn't know myself as well.
Yeah, most of my age group I know 100%. They don't understand 100%. So it's quite a great show, and I'm looking forward to more of these, and the guests coming back and educating us, and so we can learn more and just be more educated and more alert to what's going on within the political space.
No, my brother, thanks so much again for being with us today.
I appreciate.
We are here every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and but next week you're going to be having. I hope next week General will be available for him to invite him to clarify this furthermore. And you should be here as well if you can have a time to come. Matjoi is always there. Whenever he wants something, he'll call me anytime. Because I like this. Talk about this in the So guys, thank you so much for taking your time and your data for coming to join us today on Kgosi FM. And we thank you so much again for your participation. General Smuts, thank you, Tatorna. Mr. Matjoi, thank you so much for always availing yourself and being with us on this show. The show is the Kgosietsile live show, coming to you live on www.kgosifm.co.za. Recorded live again on Kgosi FM studios right here in Pretoria West on Danville, number 702 Fingers Grass here in Danville, Pretoria West. My name is Kgosietsile, and this show is the Kgosietsile live show. It will be on a podcast on Spotify and Anchor FM. Just go there and search the Kgosietsile on the live show. You'll see it. And then you go to YouTube, the same name, the Kgosietsile on the live show, and then please subscribe, like, and follow us. Go YouTube. Let's make this as big of a podcast as ever. I'm signing off and say, listen, the last thing before I go and play this one, I like this one. Here's some fun. Yeah, with that, Kere. Bye-bye. We'll be here on Sunday again. We'll be here on Sunday, and then Sunday ki di shows tana ke ba ruti ba 5 ke the gospel hour show and ke the soul sessions and jazz sessions from 2 to 3. So thank you so much for taking your time and data. Again, please subscribe, like, and share our content, and please comment as well. Tell us what you think of this GNU. Do you really think it will work? Bye bye. Love you. Mwah, mwah.